Good afternoon, crafters. My name is Hannah Roxbury and I am the brand ambassador for Carnation Crafts, and you are joining us this afternoon for the second part of our Spooky Spectacular. Yes, we are bringing you a whole day of Facebook Lives dedicated to Halloween makes. Now, what's really exciting about today's designs is we have offered you a whole set of vignettes, Spooky Spectacular Halloween Special Edition vignettes, available today as today's deal of the day. If you're unfamiliar with deal of the day, it is, as the name would suggest, a deal of each day lasting for 24 hours, available from our website carnationcrafts.co.uk. You can head on over to our website, click on the big banner, it's across every single page in pink telling you about the deal of the day, and also there's links within the menu as well, big red button saying deal of the day. Click on that and it will take you to today's deal, which happens to be Halloween Special Edition Vignettes, and it's what we're going to be showing you and showcasing through all of today's Facebook Live tutorials. Lots and lots of people joining us. Thank you already for this. Carol says, cooking Sunday lunch, so we'll be in and out to watch. Well, lovely, Carol. Do you know what? Save some for me because I'm rather hungry. Judy says, sat and ready. Cheryl's here again. Thank you, Cheryl, for joining us. Ian says, hello for a second round. Do you know what? It's something really fun about doing lots and lots of back-to-back Facebook Lives in one day. What we're doing is different demonstrations. So if you missed this morning's Facebook Live demonstration at 9 o'clock, that featured a whole host of die sets, and we created this little card here, the Spellbook Halloween inspired design. But as we mentioned, it doesn't necessarily just have to be a Halloween card. This could be a magical birthday card. This could be a little bit of a just because card. It could be a memory book. It could be a decoration, anything you like. What is special about this is we have included those brand new Halloween special edition vignettes. As we've mentioned, today's deal of the day. Book itself I've added pages to, so you can open them up, have a look at the flowers there. We've got the mice from Enchanters. We've got the potions, we've got the roses, have a hoot to the little owl, and of course more pages there as well. We are popping up lists. So if you're wondering what die cuts and dies we're using within each demonstration, I am tailoring the lists to be relevant to that particular card. But there's also then a full list of all of the die sets that are included within the vignette downloads. Hope that kind of makes sense. So we wanted to bring you something, rather than release a Halloween collection with brand new dies. What we wanted to do was really boost your stash, make the most of the die sets you may have already got at home. And so doing so, we've released a whole set of vignettes that have been designed and remastered, if you like, for that purpose. Let's share with you some cards. This are all created by Janine. So a huge thank you to Janine, our lead DT. Take a look at this. I love the perspective on this one. So these feature a few of the vignettes we will be using within this afternoon's demonstration. We have Wiley Fox, we have the picket fence there from Time Worn, we've got the trees from Misty Morning, the Avenue. We will go through them in detail as we go through the live. I love the way Janine's created like an aperture for this from the oval nested dies and the crystalline dies too. So she's cut away an aperture. We've got the backing paper here, and some of the free download backing paper in the background there as well. And it creates this lovely sort of perspective where you can look into it, and you've got the dies on the background there creating the scene, and then you've got your foreground imagery there as well. Also to note, if I open that up and you can have a look at the back, can you see? We're using our mirrored vignettes within this. So that means the back of the vignette is just as beautifully coloured as the front, which means when you are doing designs like this where you will see the back, it's not going to be distracted by any white bits. Every angle of your card is going to look gorgeous. Also created by Janine. We're just showing you a few examples of how you can use these Halloween vignettes. I love this. There's been so much love for this particular card on our social media pages. This is fabulous, isn't it? So this features the gilded frame from A Christmas Eve to give it sort of a Victoriana look. You've then got your Halloween couple, the bride and groom, a little bit reminiscent of Nightmare Before Christmas, sort of the corpse bride and things like that. And then the flowers from Floral Flourish and also Wedding Volume there as well. Again, we will go through this in detail, and actually I will be doing my own spin on this, my own take on this particular card. This will be the third demonstration today, so do tune in at 5 o'clock for that one. But it's just a few little bits to whet your appetite. Today, this one we're going to be doing 1 o'clock today is all about the elements from Tranquil Times and Misty Morning, because they just work so beautifully together, and we'll be building like a panoramic scene. I wanted to do a really elongated card for this one. But of course, one thing to really mention on this, these Facebook Lives are intended to give you a little bit of inspiration. By all means, either copy them down to the T. You're completely welcome to do so if you want to make exact versions of what we've done. We will post up images of the card makes afterwards. Or take elements and make it your own. Yes, we are absolutely working with the Halloween Special Edition Vignettes, but there's nothing stopping you just taking elements from perhaps the traditional colourways and using those. Perhaps you want to cut them from plain cardstock and use just elements of the design. These are all designed to give you ideas, okay? And of course, we love seeing what you've come up with in our Facebook group, Carnation Crafters, where lots and lots of people share their ideas. And I've already seen one Halloween card created with these vignettes. I think it was Helen that posted up a great big A4 size design with sort of the mice and the pumpkins and things like that. It looks fabulous. So do hop on over to our Facebook group as well for more inspiration too. So I'm just going to have a little scroll back, make sure I'm not missing any questions. Oh, Diane says, I've just got my broken computer back. Diane, I'm very glad you have got that back and sorted. Catherine says, hello and happy Halloween with lots of pumpkins. Loving the emojis, guys. Thank you. Wendy, another pumpkin emoji there. Oh, Deborah, you've gone for a pumpkin, a bat and a ghost. I like that. Ruth says, back again, really enjoyed your spectacular card this morning. Looking forward to another wonderful hour. Thank you, Ruth. That's incredibly kind. Do you know, I really enjoy doing these Facebook Lives as well, and it means so much to hear that you guys enjoy them too. Dawn is joining us. Hi, Hannah from the Isle of Wight. Thank you for joining us, Dawn. Rita's here as well. Happy crafting. Amanda, also back for round 2. Linda says she's sorting out some die cuts whilst watching. Fabulous. Do you know what? It's lovely to get organised, isn't it? Elaine, we spoke about Elaine this morning. She has been to her church, rushed back, and now she's all ours, which is nice. Thank you, Elaine. I hope church was lovely for you this morning. Yvette, you do make me laugh. She's put lunch on hold whilst I'm watching. I've got a grumpy hubby. I have to apologise to the husband. Sorry, Yvette's husband, for that one. Michelle's here as well. Margaret, all vignettes downloaded and watching for inspiration. Fantastic. Viv says, thoroughly enjoyed this morning's demo. Looking forward to seeing what's in store for this session. What I'm trying to do is give you guys really, really different looks to your cards. As we've mentioned, yes, we're doing sort of Halloween themes with the Halloween vignettes, but it's ideas. As we said, yes, these are sort of geared towards your more Halloween and spooky season, but the card we're going to make in this afternoon's, I'm hoping, is going to be more like a panoramic view rather than a full-on Halloween card. So really versatile for other times of the year as well. Sonal's joining us from Tampa in Florida. Welcome, Sonal. Thank you for joining us. Fiona says, almost finished with my Halloween light jars with the new vignettes. They are amazing and perfect for the job. Fiona, don't forget to post them in Carnation Crafters group. I'm so looking forward to seeing what you've done with the new vignettes as well. Mark's jumping on. Sorry, Mark is my boss, also known as a work dad, and he's jumping on board with the emoji wagon. He's put hello Miss Hannah, and he's put a scary face and what looks like a Cornish pasty. I'm not sure whether that's his lunch or he's just trying to make me hungry, but I could really do with a pasty right now. Okay, lots and lots of people. I will keep watching the comments, so if you do have any questions as we go through, I will do my level best to try and answer. But if you guys are familiar with me, you know I'm pretty rubbish at doing the camera and talking and reading, especially as I need new glasses and demoing well, so please bear with me. Let's get this camera turned around. And you can see we've got our card blank ready to go. So as I explained, we're going with this long line look. Now this is an oversized card. I can't remember the exact measurements. I think it's around about 11 inches maybe by 6 inches or something like that. But again, adapt it to your style, and you can of course either make a box or make your own envelopes with punch boards to suit. The dies I'm going to be using, let me introduce them to you, because we're going for a couple through this one. First up, or you can see I've used Wiley quite a lot, is Wiley Fox. So Wiley is part of our Tranquil Times die collection. He launched, oh my goodness, way back when, I think 2 years ago, around about now, 2 years ago. So he has been a firm favourite in my collection. Beautiful fox design with his aura, but you'll see For the Halloween vignettes, we have transformed Wiley into a wolf, and doesn't he look amazing? Think about, you know, not just limiting yourself to Halloween cards with this. This would look spectacular on Christmas cards as well, because you've got that icy feel and icy look to Mr. Wolf there. Gorgeous. He's going to need a name. So that's Wiley Fox. We are then going to be using Quiet Retreat. So here we have our log cabin in the woods. We've got things like a little axe on our tree trunk there. We've got our wood pile in the corner, the lovely sort of shanty look to the cabin itself, the wibbly wobbly chimney going up, and our rooster and barrel on the other side. However, with our spooky makeover, Quiet Retreat has been transformed into a rather spooky cabin. So here we have things that just are so Carnation, and it really does make me giggle. Let me lift it up to camera so you can hopefully see even better. There we go. There's Quiet Retreat. And can you spot the little nod to the humour on this one? Yes, our rooster is now a skeleton rooster. You know what? It looks like something out of Ghostbusters or something like that, doesn't it? With sort of ectoplasm and things like that dripping from the roof into the barrel. I love that. I think it's so much fun. Think about introducing things like your tiny lights behind the window to give it a light up effect in your cards as well. Really, really, really fun, that particular dice set. Yet another dice set that's got a Halloween transformation is Over the Trees. So the Over the Trees comes with sort of a moonscape and a daytime, both with the pines at the bottom. But for your Halloween Spectacular, it has been given a sort of a midnight look. So you've got your moon there, you've then got your spooky pines. But do you see how the colours work? Okay, so the colours have all been colour matched. We've got a theme running through of this kind of icy, wilderness kind of I want to say sort of Alaskan plain sort of thing going on. Really, really fun. And again, don't just think of it at Halloween, they would be perfect for Christmas cards as well. Also going to be using some die sets from Misty Morning collection. So here we have Time Worn, which is our rickety pickety fence, just like so, and our bundle of cobblestones. Let me grab those. So you're going from quite a nice sort of daytime pine look on your vignettes for the traditional original colourway into something with this sort of purpley blue icy overtones on. Again, perfect addition to your Halloween vignettes. Our final die set that has had the Halloween makeover included within your deal of the day is the Avenue. Let me put it around that way for you. So this lovely tree line aspect. Again, the original vignette, as you can see, lush green, lots of hedgerow. Perhaps this is a lovely quaint little country walk you're going on. However, let's mix it up. Let's get the Halloween treatment in there. The Halloween vignettes, like so, again, with that colour palette. And this time we've added in some almost like quite haunting, spooky lights. So you're taking it from that daytime narrative through to that twilight, dusk, midnight element to it as well. Really pretty. One die set I'm going to be using, which doesn't be included in the Halloween maker, and you'll see when we get to use it, I'll be cutting some of the Growing Wild. This is also from the Misty Morning collection, but you'll see when we come to use it why I'm using it just as a little bit of embellishment within this design too. So let's get started. Let's have a look. Let's just see if I've got any questions coming in. Pam says, loved your first demo, looking forward to this one. Vignettes already downloaded. Thank you. You're more than welcome, Pam. Lots and lots of people messaging in to say they've already got the vignettes, which is fabulous. Don't forget they are available as today's deal of the day, but it is for 24 hours only, after which point the price will then go back up. So do consider getting them whilst they are on this special offer. Lisa says, love these. I love making more spooky and gothic style cards. Thank you. Absolutely, Lisa. You know, we keep saying these are Halloween, but really they are more of your gothic style, which is a lot of fun. Cindy's joining us from Utah. Thank you, Cindy, for joining us. And also Penny from Portugal. Goodness me, we've gone all over, which is fantastic. Okay. Remy says, I love the skeleton chicken. Nice touch. It's just a little bit of fun, isn't it? Right, so for this particular card demonstration, again, as I say, we want to go for this panoramic view, if you like. And what I've done onto, it's actually a sheet of A3 that I've cut down to create the card base. A3 300 GSM, scored and then folded into a tent card and trimmed down. As I say, I think it's 11 inches by 6, but I will measure it after the live and then pop a little note up. Onto this, our first matten layer, and this is plain black cardstock, Linda Chapman cardstock, as all of us demonstrators tend to use, just to start setting the scene. So the mats and layers, so these framing devices to draw in the eye to the centre of our card. These are going to be popping up, and the colours I've chosen will become clear when we start going through the vignettes there. I'm sticking this layer down with finger lift tape, so you see me just taking the layer, then taking part of the carrier sheet of the tape and folding it over the edge of the cardstock. This is giving me a little tab that I can use to then pull to make sure everything's aligned, rather than trying to remove the tape and then you have sticky everywhere. It's far easier having your tabs, lining up your backing papers, your mats and layers, so you've got a really, really nice slim edge all the way around, holding it in place and then pulling at least one of the tabs to smooth in place. Okay, you can then go round, take the other tabs off to remove the carrier sheet, and that ensures your cardstock is nice and smooth and level. Now this particular orange is actually one of the downloads, the backing paper downloads, coloured, sort of solid coloured cardstocks that match in perfectly with colours within the vignette. So you're not even going to be lost when it comes to matching in your cardstocks. These are then available in tonal colours to match the vignettes perfectly. Anywhere where we've got a little hint of orange, so the area around the lights, the very centre point of the lights, is the exact colour match for your orange cardstock there. So everything is tailored to match. Then, now this is a little bit of fun. This is a free to download backing paper, which we often bring with, we try and bring with every collection. So this is almost like a starry night, sort of billowing cloud. You've got the stars poking through. There's the sort of hint of branches of trees and things like that, but it creates a lovely atmospheric backdrop. This is free to download. Download it free from carnationcrafts.co.uk now, right now. You don't have to buy anything. It is free to download. What's lovely about these is they really add a little bit of detailing. Even if you cover most of it with your die cuts, it's just that little added extra. And do you see how by adding in really slimline mats and layers, you get a hint of colour, just a tiny little hint, but it draws the eye into the centre. Now this layer I have printed on our Pro printing paper. I think this one's 170 GSM, possibly the 220, I can't remember now, but either is fine for your card weights to create your backing papers from. When you're printing, you want to print on the shiny side and adjust your printer settings to matte photo paper if you have the option to, and also your highest quality print. It is the Pro printing paper that makes the difference when it comes to your card designs. This is just a normal standard run-of-the-mill home inkjet printer I print all my vignettes and all my backing papers on. It's the Pro printing paper that makes the difference. Okay, that gives it its beautiful clarity of colour and clarity of design as well. So I've lifted that on just 1mm foam tape all the way around. It gives you a little bit of drop shadow and it gives you a little bit more prominence for this particular matten layer, which is what we're going to start building our scene onto. Cindy says the colours are stunning. I love that I don't have to debate on which colours to go together. Exactly, and it's just so beautifully done when it comes to Carnation. Everything is there for you to use and enjoy. Lorraine says, I missed this morning's live, but ordered the vignettes just after midnight. Loving these so much, with a big sparkly heart. Thank you, Lorraine. That's really kind. You can always watch back any of the lives. We do upload them to our Facebook page and also to our YouTube channel as well, which is quite new. Now, I'm going to start having a little play around with our die cuts. So you see I've got them all out. I've got all the ones I want to use in front of me. Downloaded them from the tea of the day. Printed them out again on my Pro printing paper. Because I'm using mirrored vignettes, I've printed them on 120. Okay, 120 GSM. And we're just going to have a little play. I'm going to come up with some sort of concept, some sort of design, some sort of look to these firstly, before I commit to sticking anything. A couple of the trees, perhaps the house wants to come into here. I'd love the moon. Now I'm kind of working around this lighter area, because that to me is like the moon behind the trees, but I wanted to play with that idea and actually put the moon into the design as well. So you've got a focal point of bright around the moon, like it's shining, and then it's coming out into the woods. Having the trees in the background just adds that texture as well. Now, obviously we want to try and ground everything as well. By grounding, we mean putting everything at level, having everything sitting in an area whereby it makes sense, like it looks like it's meant to be there. So I'm going to have a play around just until I find the look of how I want this to design. And you see I'm kind of shuffling everything over to one side. There is a reason for that, because what I would like to do is include Wiley, our wolf, as the center point of our design. Do you see how putting him in, so you've got the design in the background there, you're building this world, this spooky forest world behind. When we put him in, looking up to the moon, suddenly the perspective shifts, suddenly the perspective changes, he's the focus, and all of this is in the background. However, one thing we can do with Wiley to add even more focus to him is cut his matten layer from our Carnation Crafts vellum. So our vellum is 160 GSM, but it's a lovely weight, it's a nice heavy weight of vellum, and it has this lovely translucent quality. So I wanted to introduce the vellum into our designs. It's not something you see me use often, but it gives you this, again, this more ethereal kind of spooky look. Rather than using a solid matten layer, you're still getting all the colours shining through, you're still getting the details shining through, but you almost get this kind of pause, this kind of detailing around our little wolf here that sets him apart from the scene. He's still included in it, but it gives him a little bit more prominence on the front of your card. Vellum is a great way of doing that as a matten layer, as I say, because the colours shine through from behind. Let me just pop those there. So once I become happy with where I'm placing everything, I'm going to start committing to sticking things down. Now, a lot of these, I'm probably going to use my Pinflair. I'm going to have some of my super clear decoupage glue out as well. I'm just going to pour a little bit out onto my table, ready to work with. And of course, my trusty glue applicator. Now, these are out of stock on the website at the moment. Nick, our creative director, did message me after this morning's Facebook Live to let me know that they should be back in stock within sort of next month or so, but just keep your eyes on the website for that. Jacqueline says, late as usual, love these, especially the black roses. Yeah, they're a lot of fun, those roses, aren't they? Really sumptuous and velvety feeling. We've got Mandy here. Carnation Pro printing paper is the best there is. Others just don't compare. Do you know what, Mandy? That is so lovely, because it's great me sitting here and telling you guys, you know, do consider getting the Pro printing paper because it's really good, it's amazing, blah, blah, blah. You know, you might well think, okay, well, she has to say that. I genuinely don't use any other Pro printing paper. For me, it's hands down the best. If I want to give my die cuts the best opportunity at standing out as beautiful on the front of my cards, it's Pro printing paper. Our Pro printing paper, every single day of the week, that does that for me. It is so lovely to then hear from you guys who agree with that. Okay, so thank you so much for messaging in to say that as well. So my first layer is going down is my moon with the trees, and I'm going to position our moon, just as we've discussed, over that lighter patch on the backing paper there. Okay, so already you can see it's creating almost like this skyscape going on, which is just fabulous. Jacqueline says, foggy look with the vellum. Yeah, absolutely. It gives you this misty vibe, doesn't it? It's really, really pretty. Jacqueline has also asked, when are the shows on Crayon Craft? This particular set, this Halloween edition vignettes and things like that, these are exclusive to us. These are our Facebook lives. I mean, at the moment, we do not have any shows planned on Crayon Craft with these. They are only available through us. And of course, don't forget, they are today's deal of the day. Okay, Avenue from Misty Morning Collection. Just going to barrel out those sort of hedgerows and those trees. Not too much because they are in the background, but just giving them a little bit of shape. And they're going to nestle, okay, just in front of the moon. So do you see how it looks like that pathway is, you know, sort of those, what do you call them? Those remote sort of paths and roads and things in America, for example, whereby you've just got all these great big long line trees lining the routes, these woods, and you all you can see is trees for miles and miles and miles. It's that kind of feel, the roads just going almost over a hill in the distance into the trees like so. There we go. Let me just pop a little bit of Pinflair. Also, if you did miss this morning's Facebook Live, I did share with you some exciting news. We now have Pinflair Glue Gel available on the Carnation Crafts website as well. So go, check it out. It is a three-dimensional glue gel that both Carla and I absolutely love, absolutely rave about. It is there, available for you guys to pop in your baskets and use as well. Okay, that's kind of my focal point of the background, if that makes sense, positioned slightly off center. So I always tend to put things off center on cards, because if you try and get them in the center and miss, it's really, really obvious. If you intentionally put them off center, it just looks like how it's meant to be, which is fabulous. Margaret says, where on the website would I find the backing paper? Is it with the downloads, which I have had but not had a chance to look at? Margaret, you will find the backing papers on our website under downloads, paper downloads, and then you can filter by collection. So you just click, you would click Halloween Special. I've also included links on the last Facebook Live video, and I will pop another link up after this Facebook Live as well. Okay, so now I'm going to cut into the Avenue vignette. Remember, this is from the Misty Morning collection. I'm using my sharp pair of scissors and I'm following the cut line details that are already in place. Just remove like the bushes and the trees and things like that. I'm going to remove them as blocks to start with, and then if I need to snip them down further, I can. But I didn't want two roadways sort of parallel to one another, because A, in real life it wouldn't really happen like that, would it? And B, I want to kind of create the look of the wood around the road, like the wood's extending outwards from here. So I'm going to cut into these just to release a few of the trees. Judy says, I thought Pro Printing Paper was just Pro Print Paper. Got some from another company. It was okay, but when I ran out, they were out of stock, so I tried Carnation Crafts. Oh my goodness, what a difference. All the Pro Printing Papers are not the same. Only use Carnation Crafts for the best ever results. Judy, do you know what? That is lovely. I'm so glad you took the time to message in with that, because again, testimonial from you guys. I can sit here and say until I'm blue in the face, consider getting our Pro Printing Paper, because it is amazing. Until you guys get it home and experience it for yourself, that is the best recommendation I can ever hope for. So thank you for taking the time to message in. Sheila's just said, Dad's just downloaded the free backing papers. Fiona also said, I just typed in Halloween backing papers on the search and they came straight up. There you go, a couple of other ways of finding the Halloween papers there. So thank you guys for sharing that as well. That's fabulous. So again, just snipping in. I mean, it might seem strange me sitting here and sort of not having snipped into these and things like that, but the whole purpose of these Facebook Lives is to really take you through the process of everything we do when it comes to card making, obviously bar cutting the die cuts themselves, otherwise we would be here for a while. But it's to give you guys a really nice insight onto how these designs work, and how they come together really as well. And a chance to have a little chat and converse about what we are doing and what we are up to. So I'm going to start just rounding off the trees, and I'm going to see how many I need to essentially build my wood, if you like, on this card front. So this one I'm going to slip behind. Again, you see me do this on lots and lots of demonstrations, overlap things. I can't stress that enough. In nature, things would actually be overlapping. Things wouldn't be in a straight line. It is far better to overlap and give yourself places where you then need to then what you would need to then cover up with things like your spooky house, then have areas of blank space. Do you see what I mean? You're creating that full look of a wood, so add your trees. Okay, let's just round those ones off as well. I'm just lining them up, just seeing how many I need in. I'm trying to stagger them so they don't all sort of go do 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 do, which I do have a tendency to do with my vignettes. But it's just about creating that sort of background. It's creating that fullness look to the woods, and just making sure I line everything so that the foreground we want to create is still going to be foreground material. Okay, I'm quite happy with that placement. So let's go ahead and stick again using my Pinflair Glue Gel in a few little places. See, I've only just rounded them slightly because they're going to be designs which are just going to the background, so we don't want too much volume on these. Okay, you can just maybe come over a little bit. Let's see your other tree. That's better, poking through there. And then maybe let's go with some. I'm offering them up because I want to see whether it goes one way or the other way. Maybe the other way for that one, with the little hedgerow, if you like, at the bottom. I love the spooky lights in this. I think this is such a cute design. Love these trees. So basically building my little wood. Now there's areas of gapping whereby it kind of looks just kind of placed, and we kind of need to fill those. So what we can do is go in and snip away just the hedges and the bushes and things like that. And from just one kind of card design, one kind of die cut, you're instantly creating a look and a feel to your designs that is full, that is more of your own kind of concept. That kind of doesn't make sense because that tree would be coming over there. Actually, no, I'm happy with that. Let's put a bush over that. You see where you've got the smaller trees coming over the bush, and it kind of messes with the perspective of the foreground. If we do that, you're instantly kind of hiding that and just making it look like it's all coming together like it's supposed to be. I need to remember where I need to stick these down. This is what's wonderful about having your vignettes to work with, because you can cut and stick and use as many as you like. We have a totally open angel policy. If you do create an account with us, when you download your vignettes will be saved to your account, so you can easily find them, access them, and re-download them at any point as well. There we go. A few different colours of the bushes there. One has little red, almost berries on it, if you like. One is more plain. Mix and match them up. Okay, another little bit of glue, just to give you that look. And do you see how you've gone from essentially, if I hold that at the bottom there, a tree-lined avenue, into one where you've got more of a wood, more of a design coming out over the other side. Because you're using that backing paper with the texture in the background as well, it all starts feeding into one another. It all starts being sort of engineered to work together. Okay, spooky house, love that. Spooky house, tumble down house in the middle of the wood. Who is going to be living in a house like this? Is it a witch? Is it an ogre? Is it, oh goodness me, who knows, a wizard of some type? You know, you can create stories around these, create storybooks from them if you wish to. There, our spooky house with his chimney and his spooky chicken. He's going to sit just like so, nestled in. Okay, there is a reason why I'm kind of building these all en masse, if you like, rather than making any one part the feature, because remember, Wiley is going to end up being the feature at the front of this card. Let's just see. Janine's joined us. Thank you, Janine. Hello, good morning, or good afternoon even. And we've been showing your cards. There's been a lot of love. Janine is our lead DT. There's been a lot of love for your cards on these Facebook Lives, Janine. Okay, so spooky wood right now. Let's just have another little quick check on placement. So it's always good to keep coming back to your die cuts. It's always good to keep coming back in, checking how things are looking, seeing if there's any areas we need to fill, any areas we need to pay attention to. We're going to have the time-worn fence from Misty Morning included within these. and I'm going to have them sort of coming in, just dipping down to the area of the mats and layers. But I'm just going to check placement with Wiley Fox and make sure everything is, oops, excuse me, working together like so. Yeah, that looks good. That looks really good. Okay, so that time-worn fence can be stuck like so. And again, we're going to use a little bit of Pinflair. Because we're building more towards the foreground now, we can start adding a little bit more height and dimension to give that look or perspective in your designs. And time-worn fence, just remembering placement like so. Just having that coming through. Again, it's breaking up that expanse of the road. It's giving you a foreground to your designs. Elaine says, I've ordered my papers. I have already ordered some of the dies that you have used that I didn't have. Oh, fantastic. Thank you, Elaine. I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone starts designing within our Facebook group. As I said, I did see one Halloween inspired make already, and that was uploaded by a lady called Helen, which is fab. So for time-worn on the other side, the pickety fence, I'm using the reverse of the die cut. So remember, we do have what we call mirrored vignettes. So the front of the die cut like so, the reverse as such. If you want to give it more of a rounded appearance, go in with your ball tools, treat them as you would your normal sided vignettes. And that's going to have a little bit of Pinflair just to stick as well. Now, anything I sort of place on one side, it's similar sort of design to the other demonstrations you see me do. I balance it. Okay, so you've got the fence coming here with a curve, and then you've got a little bit of a hint of that just in front of the house to give you that balance, to give you that repetition, if you like, in the backs of your cards. Jeanette says, wonderful, can't wait to get creating with these new colours. Endless ideas. Thank you, Jeanette. That's what it's all about. It's just providing you with those tools to go out and explore and have a little bit of fun with. Fiona says, your samples are simply stunning, Janine. They really are, aren't they? What else would I like? Let's go in with some clouds. So again, I've got a few of the Over the Trees from Tranquil Times cut out. But I really wanted to use just a few elements of clouds because you've got a hint of the clouds here. And of course, you've got clouds or what feels like clouds in the background. But it's always fun to give a little bit of a nod to that just by cutting away a few of these little clouds, just shaping wherever we've cut, wherever the pips are, we go in and shape. So whenever we're cutting, we're keeping our scissors still and we're just turning the die cut itself. So nothing over the top, not to detract from the actual design itself, but just a few little hints of cloud-like designs around the top of our quiet retreat, spooky Halloween hut, to again give the sense of that's kind of reaching up past the skyline of the trees. And you've got a few little clouds in there. I'm going to use my tweezers on the, if I can find my tweezers, there we go. Tweezers on these and a little bit of our super clear decoupage glue and my glue applicator, just so we can get those clouds going on. Almost looks like, I don't know, it's like a clear night because obviously you've got the moon, but then you've got these ominous clouds kind of rolling in. Perhaps they're bringing a mist, perhaps by dawn there's going to be a whole load of mist covering this forest, this spooky wood. It's all those kind of storytelling devices that we can use like so. So again, you're just filling little areas, little hints to draw in other areas of the design. Now, let's have a little look. Oh, Margaret, you're so right, actually. The castle would look good for Halloween as well. Yeah, the castle from Fairy Tale Day. Obviously, we've done the wedding volume book. You saw me use that in the original part 1 demonstration. That's going to look so fabulous as a spooky castle. Cut it from black cardstock. Even just use it as is and team it with other elements from these new vignettes, and you're instantly transforming it into a spooky castle design. Now, let's just go in with a few pebbly things. These are also from the time-worn die set, and I'm just going to cut away a few little rocks and things. Great thing about Carnation Crafts is, yes, you have these wonderful die cuts, these wonderful vignettes that will help you create your card designs as you wish. But there's endless snippability with these, which then opens up a whole new world of crafting, because I'm just taking a few little pebbles or rocks or, you know, whatever these could be. I mean, is it, what do they call it? Is it a cairn or kiln? I'm not sure, where there's sort of a pile of rocks all together. I'm sure one of you lovely guys will tell me on the comments. Again, it is a great way of just introducing something a little bit different. So you're taking the time-worn design, which is almost like a triangular sort of corner of your bricks and your pebbles and things like that, and we can use them in the design as grounding devices. You know, you can use them behind the hut there, just to cover the little bases of the trees, to start giving you this point of difference between the wood that we've created in the background and the area in front of the little spooky hut, like so. So again, just some super clear decoupage glue. And really it is all about layering. I think that's what transforms your cards from something very flat. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that if you prefer working with flatter card designs, to something with more added dimension to give you that little bit of point of difference. Now, a few more little rocks, just popping on the glue gel, perhaps having these in front of the fence. Again, it really is up to you, but you're again creating that image, that way of crafting whereby these tumbly rocks and things are part of the design. And again, you're mirroring, so you're doing a few little rocks there, a few little rocks here, and everything then has a place. That fence now looks like it's coming out of the ground rather than floating in the sky a little bit as it had been. Again, just a little bit of our super clear decoupage glue. And even there, I mean, it's not even something I've done intentionally, but I mean, I could claim it as such. The rocks on this side are darker. The rocks underneath the moon, which will have more moonlight falling on them when they're not behind the picket fence, lighter colours. You know, that play of light is so important to give you your grounding and your perspective in your designs. Let's go in with one more little rock. Again, snipping away, snipping down, and just seeing how these cards come to life. So whenever I create these Facebook demonstrations for you guys, there is like an idea in mind. You know, I come up with a sort of plan, if you like, but it's a pretty loose plan. I have all the die cuts in front of me, and then we just see where the demonstration takes us. Okay, so we're just layering up, we're just having a little bit of fun. And really that is what card making and crafting is all about, isn't it? It's just having that time to play. Judy says a pile of rocks is called a cairn. Thank you, Judy. I knew one of you guys would know. Fiona says you could take out the house and the castle and the fairy tale carriage, I think that says. It could be a scene from Cinderella, so it looks different throughout the year. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that would be wonderful, wouldn't it? A really great way of using the vignettes. So here what I'm doing, I'm just anchoring a few points with a little bit of glue. I'm not worried if the glue kind of squidges out because it's super clear, it will dry clear, and it just means you're getting a nice neater finish to your designs. Now I'm quite happy with how that's looking. However, you know what I'm like, I can't ever just stop. You know, when a design looks nice, I mean, this would look fantastic with just happy birthday. Great for a more masculine card as well. It's, again, it doesn't overtly say Halloween. If you just snip away the skeleton chicken there, this could be just a nighttime scene in a forest. This could be great for a more gentleman's card, for example. But one thing that you can do to create a really great dramatic look to your designs is instantly add a foreground. Now I might not use all of these die sets. I might mix it up a little bit. I might just have a few sporadically here and there. But what I've done here is taken the Growing Wild die set from Misty Morning and cut it simply from black cardstock. By layering that over the top of the coloured vignettes, again, you're creating this immense sense of perspective. In real life, if you're looking at something in the dark, things that are closer to you are going to feel more darker, more oppressive, more kind of spooky looking, introducing this idea, because obviously the flowers and the stems of corn and the grasses and things, they, compared to the hut, are massive if you're looking at it at a flat level. But because you're cutting them from black and putting them in the foreground, it pushes the rest of the design back. Just a little bit of fun. Again, we can go in and then pop a few grasses just again to push back that side. Do you see how you're creating almost this sense that you're sitting in this little clearing here? You have these grasses right up close to you, right nestled around you, and you're surveying the scene, which is all in this perspective, all in this background. Just so fun, a great way of designing. Perhaps we're going to include a few of the little rocks there, again mirroring the designs we've already used in the background, but there's nothing stopping you including those too. Again, before we add anything down to our further layers, I'm just going to check placement of Wiley Fox, and he just looks wonderful, doesn't he? Doesn't he look spectacular on the card? So I'm really happy with where he's sitting. I think let's do it. Let's go in with the cardstock, the dark cardstock designs, to push everything back into the background of our card and just see how it builds. Of course, if you're not a fan of that, do you know what? That's absolutely fine. It's totally up to you. That is the wonderful thing with Carnation Crafts. The vignettes are there. The vignettes are yours to download and play with, cut into, cut from black card, cut from your coloured vignettes, whatever you want to do to create your story how you want it to be. We have a completely open angel policy as well with Carnation Crafts. So if you do want to make to sell or make for charities, for example, you are more than welcome to do so. Over on this side, let's go in with those grasses again. Another great way to play with perspective, and it almost kind of, I don't want to say tricks the eye, but it kind of does, is by having your vignette cuts overhanging your edges. Okay, so your scene is, your panoramic scene is condensed into this panel, into this backing paper panel. By having your foreground spilling over the edge of your mats and layers, again, it's giving that oversized look. It's giving that feeling that these are much closer to you. These black silhouettes are much closer to you. I'm going to go in with a few of these little, I think they're almost like little forget-me-not flowers, if I remember correctly, from the vignettes themselves. Again, from that Growing Wild die set within the Misty Morning collection. Remember, this isn't part of the Halloween vignettes. This is just something I'm using because it complements. Again, it's another way of showing you how we can work with the various vignettes within the collections. The grasses, again, it sounds crazy, but these are quite often my most used vignettes and die sets because they create these grounding devices. They create this storytelling feeling. They create this look of real life, you know, and they add in your depth. So a little bit of the decoupage glue, again, overlapping them, letting them lay over the vignettes in the background. We basically covered up the whole of that fence that we had popped down, but it works. It so works because you're discovering scenes in the backgrounds of these designs here. So I'm just sticking these black cardstocks along all one level, if it would like to stick down, and that's creating that foreground look. I'm going to snip into a few of the little rocks as well, because I think these are going to be super fun to use with this design. Just snipping it out because I don't want sort of a triangle of rocks. I just want a little patch of rocks, if you like, just to lead through. I might even tweak that off. Yeah, that's better. That fills more of a gap there. Again, it's crafting. You could make this card a million times over and use slightly different scene setting devices and create a whole different atmosphere, whole different looks to your designs too. A little bit of glue. And again, I'm using tweezers because if you're anything like me, it's a great way of keeping your fingers away from the glue and stop getting glue all over the place. Why aren't you sticking little bits of card? Yeah, there we go. Just needed a little bit more encouragement, I think. And again, let's re-stick this grass down. Remember, we're using the super clear decoupage glue, so if it does squidge over the edge, it doesn't matter. it all works. So I'm just layering again, even these shadowy ones, these ones I'm using to create the perspective, layering those up as well gives you this wonderful dense sense of design to the forefront of your card there. I'm going to include just a few little nods to the grass on that side as well, behind just next to Wily Fox, just again to mirror what we've done. And remember, we're giving that sense that you're sitting in this little clearing here. But I might stick that after I've popped Wily down. Now, because I'm using Vellum, what I've popped on the back of Wily is super clear, what is it called? Red liner tape, ultra clear red liner tape, because it's a nice strong adhesive. And I'm going to just peel away part, using your poker tool to get in, to release the carrier sheet on the red liner tape is a great way to avoid sort of getting in a bit of a faff with it. And then remember, we're sticking that Wily Wolf, I should say, for the Halloween Special Edition Vignettes onto our Vellum as his backdrop. Okay, and then peel away and stick, and then we can remove that other part of the red liner tape as well. So that just gives him a little bit more prominence. That just ultimately changes up the look of the design and gives him a little bit of backdrop, but not detracting from the rest of the design. Do we want some of the grasses behind him? Let's have a look. Yeah, I think we do. I think it mirrors that side really nicely. So let's now stick Mr. Wily. So I'm just concentrating the Pinflair Glue Gel along the back of the fox, the area of the vignette. I'm not putting any on where it would show through the vellum. You could, of course, use your red liner tape for that bit as well. And let's just have him aligned with the bottom of the card. Again, he's just peeping over the edge of the layers as well. And let's just squidge him down into place. Oh, that's lovely. Is it Shalia? Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. You say, I am mesmerised. It makes me feel like I'm walking through this. Thank you. That's kind of the idea. And do you know what's going to be lovely? If you guys then create your own cards, your own ideas with this sense of walking through a glade, walking through a, you know, an opening, a clearing in the forest, your recipients of the cards are going to feel that same way too. And you know, it's such a lovely thing to transport people to another world, you know, take them away from this one for a little moment, just when they open that card and they're lost in the looking at the stories involved with your card designs. So again, a few little grasses there, just teasing that under, lining them up with the little rocks and things as well. Just like so, just to mirror that look on the other side. Actually, I feel like I want a few more little sprigs of grass. Did I cut small? Yes, I did. That is handy. That is very handy. Because again, those grasses, just like everything else, we can trim into and give you that almost like a little gradient effect. You know how if you're getting a little bit more sporadic with the glass, where you kind of got clumps all together, and then areas where there's a little less grass, a little bit more patchy, just a little bit of fun. Again, just adding to that storytelling feel to your card makes. Let me just squidge that glue off a little bit. Use my glue applicator. There we go. Again, overlapping that scene does look a lot of fun. Let's continue. No waste with Carnation. We can always use these little stems of grass in other projects as well. But let's just go in and just see about placement there. So again, having it so the grass is almost petering out adds to that sense of perspective for your design. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Let's just grab a finishing touch. Where are you, little birdies? Come here. These little birdies are part of Over the Trees, one of the Halloween Special Vignettes. And these, I kind of just want them kind of swooping around the trees. Perhaps these are, I mean, they could almost be mistaken for bats, couldn't they? But you know how when you've got like is it a rookery? When you've got lots and lots of rooks all together or crows all together and they kind of all come out of the trees and circle around menacingly. It's that kind of look I'd like for this kind of part of the card. And again, it's similar to how we've done the clouds, but you've just got a little offering of clouds. Just filling a few of these little spaces gives you the sense of the oversized card, like there's lots and lots of intrigue going on, there's lots of stories going on within your crafting here. And these birds are just swooping around. Perhaps, you know, perhaps they're vultures, perhaps they're looking for the next meal. You know, you can have a little bit of fun with the stories on these. Find a little birdie. We're adding these in sets of 3. As we've mentioned in previous Facebook Lives, the eye likes to find a centre. So the eye likes odd numbers because to the eye, it can find a centre to that design. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that looks like a little bit of fun. What do you think? Is this something you might be creating your own versions of as well? So a little bit of a Halloween inspired design here. In our foreground, we have Wiley from Tranquil Times. We've then got the vignettes as part of the Halloween Special Edition for the Time Worn in the fence and the pebbles we used either side. We've got the avenue, this tree-lined avenue here. In the background, you've got Over the Trees, which features the moon and the birds, and of course the clouds, and that's from Tranquil Times. We've got a house here, a spooky hut from Quiet Retreat, Tranquil Times, and then the silhouettes I've used, not part of the Halloween special edition, but just used in sort of their silhouette form from the Growing Wild, again part of Misty Morning. I will pop up links and details of the die sets used to create this card, but I hope you find that's a really fun way of crafting and creating a little bit of a design. Let me swing that camera around, or fling the camera, Hannah, because we don't want to do that, because sometimes it looks different from different perspectives there. So that's created our spooky panoramic view for our wily fox / wolf with his new Halloween special vignettes. Remember, they are your deal of the day for today. I cannot wait to see your take on this, which elements you're going to be using. Pop your images up in our Carnation Crafters Facebook group, and do join me at 5 o'clock this evening, where we will be doing a take on Janine's card shape. Let me just bring that in so you can see. We will be doing a version of this particular design with the sort of corpse bride, a little bit sort of Nightmare Before Christmas, a little bit Dorian Gray there, and the gilded frame, part of the Christmas Eve collection there. So I'll be doing that a little bit like that, something a little bit different, but a few different techniques in that particular design as well, and that will be at 5 o'clock tonight. In the meantime, have a lovely afternoon, and I will hopefully see you guys back here later on as well. Take care, everyone. Bye.